Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. So yesterday we took delivery of something that we have been waiting very patiently over the last 8 months for. If you've been following the channel for a little while, you probably already know what we're about to talk about, but in case you missed it, let me show you what we got. So there it is, our sawmill has finally come in and I could not be more excited. This is an Easy Boardwalk 40, and I've got to tell you the story about how we got this mill here. So if you guys remember, this past January, we took a cherry saw log up to our friends at Hammer Custom Lumber. They own an Easy Boardwalk 40, and while we were up there, you know, he did most of the milling, but he let me do a few pushes, and I was really impressed with this machine. And the day I got home, before I even got the video made, I called Easy Boardwalk and started talking to them about pricing and mills and things like that. And we got to talking a little bit, and I explained to them about the YouTube channel, and he was interested in sponsoring us a mill. Well, about 2 or 3 days later, I got the video edited and uploaded, and to this day, that video right now has about 408,000 views, and I called him a few days after the video went live, and he said his phone had not stopped ringing, and he said while he was here delivering the mill, he went from a 6-month backlog to about a 12-month backlog. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank all of you guys who watch these videos, because without you guys watching them, interested in these kinds of products, calling, ordering them, none of this would be possible for us. You guys have really made our dreams come true and getting us some awesome equipment so we can make videos for you guys. So once again, thank you guys so much. So Easy Boardwalk decided to send us this mill to demo here on the channel. Now, when they were here setting up yesterday, I did not get a chance to really walk around and do a lot of talking and explaining of what was going on. I had so much information flying my way about how to set up the mill, how to move the mill, how to operate the mill, how to shut it down for the day and, you know, take the tension off the blade, how to change blades. There's a lot of information you need to learn when you get a sawmill. So we didn't get a chance to do a lot of talking. I had my wife kind of walking around and filming the setup and, you know, running our first log through it, just so I'd have, you know, for my own self, some video footage of the first day that we got the sawmill. It's kind of a moment in time for us. We'll be able to look back on that with all the things that we build over the next couple years with this mill and say, that was the day we got the sawmill, that was the day that it changed everything. So kind of a moment in time for us. I'll play that footage for you guys now. I hope you guys enjoyed that footage. Like I said, that was more for myself than for you guys, but I thought you guys might enjoy it too if you're thinking about getting a mill, or if you're on a wait list for a mill right now, maybe it gives you something to look forward to. But I'm not going to do a full review on this mill until we get a chance to run a couple thousand board feet through it. I'll just show us using it. But I wanted to talk about a few features that are on this mill that I thought were pretty clever. Now, the first thing that I fell in love with about this mill when I went up to Hammer Custom Lumber was just the simplicity of it. There's no computers on this thing. There's no fancy features. It is all very analog. If anything breaks on this, you should be able to go to any kind of hardware store or auto parts store. And I mean, it's all bearings and metal and chains. And I mean, the lift for the power head here is a garage door opener. So that just gives you an idea. I like things to be simple, and this is a very simple machine. Now, the second feature that I thought was pretty cool about this sawmill is this blade guard here. I'm not talking about the housing for the flywheel, but this blade guard sits about an inch below the sawmill blade, and it's designed to keep you from running into your log stops. So if you adjust your blade down below these log stops and you forget to adjust them down as well, that guard will save you from running into them. I've heard there's two types of people when it comes to sawmill owners, ones that have hit their log stops with their blades and ones who haven't done it yet, but they're going to. And as a brand new sawyer, that is a feature that I can really appreciate. Now, the third feature that I really liked about this mill is the way in which you load the logs and the way in which you turn the logs. This is kind of backwards from just about every other mill on the market. So on this one, you load the logs from this side here. Your log stops are on the left side, which means that after you make your first cut and you turn your log, you're going to be turning it this way, which means that the leading edge of your blade is going to be going into the fresh cut of your log. Doing it this way accomplishes two things. It eliminates the need for a debarker. With the exception of that first cut that you make, you'll still be cutting into the bark and potentially some dirt on that first cut, but every cut thereafter you should be cutting into the clean face of the log. And secondly, it's going to lengthen the life of your blade. So instead of being able to only cut 500 or 600 board foot of lumber before you have to either sharpen or switch out your blade, you might be able to get 700 or 800 board foot before you have to sharpen or change out your blade. Another nice feature for beginning sawyers is your blade engagement is directly linked to your lube engagement right here. So when you're ready to disengage and stop the blade from spinning, it also turns off your blade lube, so you're not wasting lube when you're not running the blade. A couple other features that Easy Boardwalk threw in that don't come standard but make this mill a lot more useful is this log turner right here. You can see it's basically just a big piece of square tubing with a winch on top and a hook on the bottom of the winch line. And what you use that for is obviously to turn your log so you don't have to get out a PV, or if you've got a really big log that a PV just isn't going to do the job. The second extra they sent us, you might have been wondering what this big blue jig is that's sitting on top of the bars. That is a lap siding and shingle jig. And what that does, there's a little lever down here on the end. I'll show you how it works. Basically, you take this lever and it changes the angle so you can cut shingles and you can cut lap siding. That's a really cool feature if we were to ever get into making siding. And I'll tell you what, making siding can be a very profitable venture as well. The third extra they sent us is this leveling jack. You can see you've got a little handle here that powers your 2-ton jack. And what you use that for is centering the pith. So what you want to do is set your log on your bed rails here, and then you want your pith, which is the center of the log, to be equal height up from your bed rails on this side as it is from this side down here. The reason for that is the pith, if you're not familiar, is very unstable. It's prone to checking and cracking, and you really want to cut that out and utilize all the lumber around the pith. So this is going to help you level it up. Instead of trying to lift it up and shim it, you've got this jack here to do it for you. And then you've got your little release here that'll let all the pressure out of your jack. So we probably aren't going to be sawing much lumber here for the next few weeks until we get the pond build behind us. But I can promise you, once we get into fall and winter and some cooler weather and the pond is done, we're going to be sawing a bunch of lumber. So if that sounds good, click that subscribe button, give us a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.